As a nonprofit that offers free membership and services to homeowners who have historic Chicago bungalows and other vintage homes all across the city, we love the statement that the Folded Map Project makes. Because of the way Chicago's bungalow belt arcs around the city center, our 25,000 members are pretty evenly spread among the south and north sides. And as we've seen over the years, despite neighborhood differences, our members share a common pride in their homes. This pride came through when we posed the idea to find map twins among our members early this year. The response was enthusiastic. We were incredibly honored to work with Folded Map creator Tonika Johnson and sociologist Maria Krysan, who are both CBA members themselves, to select 3 Bungalow Map Twin pairs. Over the summer, Tonika and Maria introduced the Bungalow Map Twins to each other over video calls and guided them through fascinating conversations about their experiences becoming bungalow owners on different sides of the city, revealing both differences and similarities. Now, CBA and Folded Map have collaborated to create a series of webisodes revealing those conversations. In this first installment, we'll meet 2 sets of homeowners and learn why they wanted to become Bungalow Map Twins.
There's your bungalow twin, Aaron. Aaron, meet Tia. Tia, meet Aaron. Well, bungalow twins. We're meeting each other for the first time. Feel free to just give a quick introduction to each other, your names, maybe what you all do, the neighborhood that you live in, and then we'll go into the rest.
Yeah, well, I'm Tayo Martin. This is Corey Martin. So we are in the South Shore area. We have 2 kids. We have as you hear them now in the background, we have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I am currently a CPS elementary school counselor.
And I work at the University of Chicago. I do basically tech support for the economics department and the Becker Friedman Institute there. Before there, I was actually working at Loyola. So I was at Loyola for 10 years doing tech support there as well. So, and like she said, we're in the South Shore area.
I'm Julie Toole, and this is my husband, Rick. We're both educators, so I am an art teacher and an artist, and I did 20 years in Chicago Public Schools, and now I was in Humboldt Park in Ukrainian Village, and now we live in North Park neighborhood. We live in a little area where there's surrounded by bungalows all around us, close to the North Park Nature Center. We're both grew up in Indiana, but we've been in Chicago. I've been in 30 plus years, and
about 16 for me.
And Rick teaches at you can speak for yourself.
Thank you. I teach at Evanston Township High School.
Okay.
I am a history, social science teacher. I teach U.S. history and civics, and I'm going to be starting as the teachers union president in a couple of months. And so I'm looking forward to doing that as well. And I'm excited to meet you guys. I was a little nervous the last hour, thinking like, oh boy.
So I am Tia Brown. Hopefully my husband, he's in a meeting. My husband can come up and pop up here, but I'm married, 3 daughters, 18. She's a senior about to graduate from Lindblom Academy.
Nice.
We have a 10-year-old and a, how old is Alani? She's like 25, but 5-year-old. But she thinks 5-year-old. So we have 3 girls. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 17 years now. I also we have nonprofit organizations where we provide interactive services for kids. And my husband has a nonprofit as well as he's an entrepreneur. He owns his own business. He's an athletic trainer. And his nonprofit also focuses on sports for at-risk youth.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much sums up what we do in a nutshell.
In your neighborhood?
Is West Lawn. West Lawn. So I'm right outside of Inglewood. I always say I live in Inglewood because we right across, right? We are literally across Western. So and we get all of the action. So I'm like, most people I say I live in Inglewood, but technically I don't because I live on the west side of Western. So, but I think it's called West Lawn. I'm almost positive it's called West Lawn.
My name is Erin, and I live in West Ridge, I guess, which also is adjacent to Rogers Park. But again, I'm a little bit too far west, so it's like this little niche pocket neighborhood, and some people call it West Rogers Park, so whatever. I think technically, though, I think it's called West Ridge. I have 5 kids. So my oldest is a freshman in high school. I have an 8th grader, and then we have triplets that are in 6th grade. Yeah. So accidentally 5 kids, but and they all go to CPS schools, and you know how that goes, like different CPS schools and all this kind of rigmarole. I am a stay-at-home parent. I have been since I think I kind of finally put the working down when my second was maybe 4 or 5. Just, I just have too many kids to make it feasible to do daycare and all that kind of stuff. And just, with some sanity in our lives. My husband's an attorney, so he works a lot. So, we kind of made the choice that I've just stayed home.
Why did you even do this? Why did you even sign up to be a part of this bungalow twinning?
You want to go?
Sure. Well, I did because Chicago's very segregated. You can ride Halsted, Western, and you just literally see the segregations as how it's segregated as you riding down Western and or Halsted and Ashland at times. So I was just really like, when I read about the project, I saw a few clips. I was just really interested in finding out, like, who is my bungalow twin? Do they look like me? You know what I'm saying? Do they have the same experiences as I do? Because I know, like you said, is once you kind of fold the map, that's your twin, just depending on where your address is. So, what we know of twins is they look alike, they come from the same places, they do everything alike. So the way that you flip the word twin, I wanted to know, what does my twin look like? I know we have the same address, but who are they? Because we're seeing twins. Who are these people? So I was just really kind of interested in the lives that you live. Although, your addresses are, like you said, we flip that map and you're touching, but I'm just very interested in the lifestyles that we live and how it's affected by our neighborhoods.
For me, this is what I do. I teach history. And so I know about these things. And I think one of the most interesting things for me when I teach is when you can break topics down to like real people and real lives, and like exactly this type of thing where people meet each other and just share their experiences based on the circumstances that they live in. And so it's probably been a couple of years since I heard about the Folded Map Project. And then I just saw it come across the Facebook page for the Bungalow Association and was like, I didn't even ask Julie, I just signed this up. I knew she'd be interested in it. And so it's interesting too, as it like doing these sorts of things with my classes, like teaching them about like, this is what happens when people meet, but actually doing it now, it's kind of interesting and fun having that experience. And, I'm looking forward to seeing what I learned from the process today and going forward too.
I just was gonna say, I think it's a cool project. I mean, I saw the pamphlet that talked about like somebody, was it you that was coming from Tulane Tech and riding the bus? I mean, I just think it's interesting. Like what a perspective, and to notice that and to then make the action to, develop this whole project. I think it's a cool idea. To connect different segments of the city. I mean, we have lots of friends. My kids go to lots of different schools. We've been in other schools. We've been in all these like magnet schools. So we know people from all areas of the city. So I think it's a cool thing.
Okay, I'll go first. So it kind of goes with what I said. Main thing for us is experiences, because our children didn't even know what an apartment was. So although we expose them to a lot of stuff, it's still a lot that they haven't seen. And up north is one of the, even though we can drive up there, but the actual meeting of the person, and actually, I saw the videos from the previous twins, and but of course that was before COVID, and they were able to meet in person, and actually one of the twins became friends. They talked, afterwards. And they didn't just rely on the program to get them talking and things like that. And it just shows people what another perspective. So for you to see our perspective and what we go through over here, and for us to see what you all experience on the north side. So I think that was the main thing that pushed us to do it, is to be able to see something different and to meet somebody that has a totally different background, totally different, like you all shop in different places, you go different places because they're in your neighborhood, and we don't have anything like grocery stores, all that stuff. We don't really have that. We have a McDonald's around the corner, but other than that, we don't really have 7-Elevens. I don't even think it's a 7-Eleven. Tonika, do you know if it's a 7-Eleven anywhere around here? I don't think so.
Nope.
So like you said, 2 blocks, when you said that went in my, like, I have to go to 95th Street to go to 7-Eleven, or like 70 or 87th Street or something to go to 7-Eleven. It's nothing like that in our neighborhoods. And that's pretty much what.
But no gas stations?
Yes, it's gas stations, but like, you don't really want to go to them because there's so many people standing outside that we have to choose which gas stations we go to.
Circumstantially, because we are, like, our orbit is on the north side, and even in the northern suburbs now, where I teach and Julie teaches, the south side and west sides are not places that we would have considered anyway. But I also think that if we could have lived anywhere, we probably wouldn't have considered that, because of, I'll speak for myself. I'll let you speak for yourself too. But that wouldn't have been a consideration. And even like along those lines, my first experience living in Chicago was between my junior and senior years of college. My aunt got me a job working at Mercy Hospital, and there's housing on the Mercy campus that was for residents and doctors, and we stayed there. But that's like right on the tip of Bronzeville. Yeah. And I never did anything where I went south. I never anything. Like if I did anything on, go out in the evening or go whatever, it was going north. And so that was intentional. That wasn't just because, that part of the city I didn't know and was made to be afraid of. So that definitely is something that stands out to me.
Yeah, I think we're in this city, you're kind of programmed to stay in your spaces. Yeah. Even if those aren't your intentions. It's just your surroundings. Mm-hmm. Your demographic and your circle is going to be different from my circle, mm-hmm, based off of where you work and who you're around. And the people that you're around, if you're new to it, they're going to guide you where not to go and tell you what's safe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? For you, because you guys are white, it's different. You know, they're going to steer you away from, you know, areas that people will say it's okay for us to go to. You know what I mean? And so it's a tough cookie, right? But people won't steer me away from where you guys might be. Right. But in a sense they may, because it's foreign to them. Yep. You know, when I worked at a youth center on 39th in Michigan for a little bit, when I was a little younger, and there were people that have never left their neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
They had never been to downtown Chicago. Wow. I mean, teenagers that had never been to downtown Chicago. And to speak of anything north of, just say, Roosevelt, that was foreign space to them. And they were raised to think like that. That's foreign space to them. And you don't go up there because that's where the white people live, or because, you know, we're going to get profiled for being in that area. You know, I used to get profiled living in Rogers Park, and I lived in Rogers Park for 12, 15 years almost. I remember specifically one night because there's no parking in Rogers Park. And as you notice, I got quite a few LPs and stuff like that. I used to DJ quite a bit and DJ in nightclubs. So I had just gotten off work at a nightclub, and I had came home. It was probably 3 a.m. There was no parking. So I'm driving around the neighborhood looking for parking. So at a point, I realized the best thing to do is just sit and wait if you don't want to get a ticket. You're going to do two things. You're going to park illegally and get a ticket, or you're just going to sit and wait for a space to open up. And I used to do that because by me coming home late, working in nightclubs, I used to catch people leaving for that early in the morning shift, and they'll be coming out for work. So I would literally be sitting around waiting for people to leave for work. So one night, I'm sitting in my car, sitting on the corner right in front of my house, waiting for just somebody to come out, not doing anything, just sitting in my car, and 4 police cars pulled up on me and blocked my vehicle in. I hadn't got out of my car. I hadn't been driving around, had been sitting there. And they asked me to get out of the car. What are you doing here? Why are you sitting here? We went through the whole barrage of profiling. You know, I'm like, hey, I'm a DJ. Look, open my trunk. I had LPs in the record. You know, oh, well, you can't sit here. You fit a description. How do I fit a description? I'm sitting in the car, not moving. You know what I mean? How do I fit a description? But nothing. I mean, they gave me a ticket for sitting on a fire hydrant when it all came down to it. And it was like, well, you can't sit here. Okay, so I'll get a ticket and I'll do all of that. But so you hear stories like that, living on the South Side and stuff like that. So you may think, nah, if I go to the West Side, if I go to the North Side, that may happen to me. And depending on how much that has happened to you, there's a fear there. There's a fear when I'm driving and the police officer pulls up behind me and I'm not doing anything. It's a little different for me now. My dad used to work for the U.S. Attorney's Office, and he worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office for 40-some years. So, but he was also, you know, a neighborhood guy where he kept his ear to the street. But he told me a lot of the times, hey, son, you know, if they behind you, don't worry about it. You ain't doing nothing. It ain't that. So I had a different approach than some of my friends did, where they're automatically combative and automatically, you know, ready to react if they got pulled over. Because it's like, why? You know what I mean? And I've had so many friends where that situation went the wrong way. You know what I mean? Just because you're already tense, you're already afraid of an interaction, because you already know it's not going to work in your favor, no matter what you do, you know, no matter how you speak to them.
Right. Well, there you have it. You just witnessed the heart of what Folded Map is all about. making personal connections with each other across the city, using our city's segregation as a way to make it happen. I mean, look what we got. We got a pair of bungalow twins who all find out that they're teachers. Those are the exact kind of similarities that Folded Map hopes that we begin to start seeing in each other, regardless of our racial and economic differences. And since the bungalow belt reflects Chicago segregation, like so many other things, it was really important for me to partner with the Chicago Bungalow Association to help amplify the power of connecting with people across the city. I hope you all tune in to the next webisode. We'll be learning more about the nitty-gritty of home ownership. We'll be witnessing some more similarities as well as some unfortunate differences as a result of our city segregation. So tune in.